It looks like yet another piece of that infamous Christopher Steele Trump-Russia dossier, the one that the Trumpists have been sort of going apoplectic to try to debunk for months now. Another element of it seems to have been proven true, or at least corroborated. And you might remember, you might not, that one of the assertions of the Steele dossier was about the involvement of Blackwater founder Erik Prince in trying to set up a back channel between the Russian Kremlin and then President-elect Trump. It was in January of 2017, before the inauguration of Trump, that supposedly Erik Prince was trying to set up this back channel. And as a quick reminder, Blackwater is the mercenary firm often hired by the US government. Erik Prince is its founder. He also happens to be the brother of Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos, which is a story for a different day if that's new information to you. And after the dossier surfaced alleging that Prince tried to set up this back channel, Prince denied it, his attorney denied it, and we now have a new report months and months later which says that Robert Mueller might already have evidence that indeed Erik Prince did exactly this, tried to establish this back channel between the Trump transition team and Kremlin operatives. And the Washington Post has a great story on it where they report that a witness who is cooperating with Robert Mueller's investigators says, yeah, the meeting took place, and the meeting took place in January of 2017. And what Erik Prince told congressional investigators, he didn't deny that the referenced meeting happened. He denied that it was planned, saying instead, oh, it was a totally chance encounter, and also denied that it had anything to do with U.S.-Russia relations vis-a-vis the inauguration of President Donald Trump. But that happens to be the exact opposite of what this cooperating witness has told Robert Mueller, according to the Washington Post report. And according to the witness, the meeting was not a chance encounter. It was set up in advance, and it was specifically set up so that a representative of Trump's transition team would meet a delegate from Russia specifically to figure out how to communicate in the future. And we're now getting beyond sort of circumstantial inaccuracies or something you could write off to a semantic disagreement, right? There's no way that we can say semantics explains the difference between Erik Prince's version of events and this cooperating witness's version of events. You can't say the language was ambiguous. Somebody is flat out lying here if these are the assertions that have been made by each party. Either it was a planned meeting or it was a chance encounter that Erik Prince absolutely did not expect. If it's a planned meeting, then Erik Prince directly lied to investigators, and that's something that usually ends up with you having a pretty bad time. And this also sort of more broadly shows the consistent pattern by Trump associates to try to create back channels, right? Because it's not just Erik Prince from Blackwater accused of trying to create a back channel to Russia. You might remember that the exact same accusation exists against Donald Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, the accusation that he met with Russian Ambassador Sergei Kislyak to do almost this exact same thing, potentially on a sort of more ongoing basis than just for the transition period. Kushner was looking at doing this, at creating this back channel to the Kremlin, specifically to get around American intelligence agencies' awareness of what it is that they're doing. And as I read about this, there's no way that Mueller's team is just feeling around, right? I mean, they clearly know what is going on and are trying to see who's lying about this at this point. Last week, we kind of talked about it, and I pointed out, and it's not something that I came up with uniquely, right? I mean, it's widely known that when investigators at this level, the investigators working at the level of Robert Mueller, when they ask questions typically that they already know the answers to try to figure out who is lying and where there are disagreements or inconsistencies. But they must know in this case what the truth is. And I would love to see Erik Prince taken down, reportedly a multi-billionaire, just like his sister Betsy DeVos, who has made just disgusting amounts of money basically selling private war services to governments, including the government of the United States. And if you're wondering what's going on with Blackwater these days, I haven't heard much about it. That's because they've changed their name. Blackwater technically no longer exists. It was first called Blackwater. It was then renamed Z Services, like XE, even more innocuous, and then later renamed Academy with an I. Most companies don't want to be regularly changing names because you sort of build brand awareness and recognition under one particular name. This is the opposite. When you hear the name Academy with an I, you say Blackwater and mercenary services and private war contracting. That doesn't sound at all like a company that would be doing that. That's exactly what they want. And indeed, Blackwater as Blackwater doesn't even exist anymore.
Yeah, that's a problem. And also, we know that patronage and nepotism is rampant in this White House. Do you think this connection led to Betsy DeVos becoming the education secretary?
That's been the speculation for a while. I mean, her husband and her, I mean, she's got a ton of money as well. I don't want to make it seem like it's the guy who wears the pants.
$5 billion.
They both, between them, were donating the max to Trump and cronies and whatever. So yeah, I mean, certainly I would speculate that the Erik Prince connection is a connection that was relevant for her. But also, she and her husband were donating big bucks to Trump. So I think there's no question that she had no business being Secretary of Education. There's no doubt about that. How she got into the position could have been Erik Prince, could have been because of her donations. Who knows at this point? But yet another piece of the Steele dossier reportedly corroborated. The video you just finished watching was made possible by you through the membership program. You can sign up for membership at davidpakman.com/membership. We are viewer-supported independent media. You can use the coupon code IVOTED17 for a 40% discount off of your membership.